This weekly tutorial request is from Sheep Studios 1. It's a two-part tutorial, so let's start with the first part. How to make the coins fall off the table. I have two videos on this. One is a demo from FT3 and the other one is the actual footage I used in the movie, and there are two different ways of doing it. So I'm going to talk about both ways. First way is to have a stack of coins on a table. To use the flat pieces, and I use black because it's easier to see the coins against a black background. And as you can see, when I tilt the table, the coins stay on. And I'll explain that in a second. What you're going to do is you're going to get white clay, or a color that matches close to the same as the coins. And you want to get on the bottom like this, just a little bit, and you're going to put that against the surface of the table. Just enough to keep it stuck, but not enough to just mash out the sides. You want to stay hidden. And this way you control the movement and not gravity. Okay, so what you're going to do after that is, if you want a stack of coins, you are going to mash some white clay in between two coins. So you get this coin here with some clay in the bottom, and then you just put some coins together like this and you squeeze it, and then you can just stack them like that. And you can, I wouldn't go more than 4 coins high, but you can experiment all you want. And then what you're going to do is, as you move the frames, you lift, you take a picture, you're going to lift, take a picture, and when you feel that you've reached a point when the coins are going to slide, you just start sliding the coins down. And as you slide them down, what you want to do is just imagine that the coins are falling off of each other. And the way you do that is to make like a zigzag shape. Now remember, you want to keep the clay hidden. I just don't want to take the time to do it right now because it can be kind of tedious. But you make a zigzag shape. Kind of like this. Let's see that. And you just place that there, and then you just kind of have the coins roll off of each other in the same zigzag pattern, and just keep flowing with this motion. And just try to keep the clay hidden, and it should be easy if you mimic the color of the coins. And eventually, as they fall, you just have them break apart, and you just keep them together by that clay. That's the first way I did it. The second way is to just get a stack of coins, a loose stack, a few loose stacks, maybe, however much you want. Have them on the table, and then get something off of the side of the camera, something the camera won't see, and you just kind of slowly lift. Oh. And you got to do it at a good speed, because you don't want them to just slide off, you want them to kind of fly off. What I did is I recorded this in Adobe Premiere, and what I used a effect to slow it down. So I just kind of like flung them up like that, and I slowed the footage down, and that's how I did it. So the second part of this tutorial request has to do with my blood effects. How do I do my blood? And there's two answers to this, and it's going to require some materials. The first material is going to be food color. And this is the type of food coloring that I use that I find to be the most effective, because it's not as watery as other food colors that I've tried. So you're going to get a dark red color here, and you're going to use that. The other thing I use is jelly or jam. The darker the color, the better it is. Something like a purple or a dark maroon color. Don't go light red, because it will kind of show up pink depending on your lighting. So for blood effects, let's just suppose that this soldier shoots this terrorist from the first Frozen Terror in the face, right? So what we want to do is spray on his face, and we want to spray against the wall. And what we're going to use is a toothpick. I use these types of toothpick, which are kind of narrow on one end, a little wider on the other. I like to have both options available. So if we're going to go on his face, what we want to do is just take a little bit of food coloring on the tip and just kind of smear it on his face a little bit. And what you're going to do is you're just going to go from the point that he's getting shot at, you're just going to kind of drag out like this. And you're just going to go kind of heavy on it. So, like something like that. So the blood's just kind of going in this direction. And you're going to apply this method against the wall too. So I would use the more blunt end, or the wider end, and just kind of smear out in the direction of the fire, the gunshot. Just get like a lot of blood on there and just kind of smear it out like that. Maybe make it a little bit wider so it's kind of all over the place. Something like that. Boom. Okay, and then you can do sections of globbiness, like this part maybe has a lot on it, a lot of blood here, something like that. Typically when I go against walls though, I don't use food coloring. Maybe as accent, but what I use is the jam. So you want to go from the point of impact and just kind of fan it out from that point. And as he falls and maybe he gets shot again, every time he gets shot, you want to do more fanning from where he got shot from. Alright, now let's say you want to do some chunks. That's another benefit of using the jam. The jam will make it look like maybe brains, it'll look like maybe organs, just body parts just strewn against the wall. And this is what I use. I kind of just mash it against the wall and I just kind of fan it out like that. I think that gives a really good effect. You can just kind of pull it like that. And work with your lighting or get a darker color. Make sure it looks like blood. And there you have it. The last thing you want to do if you have Photoshop or Paint is when you get the image get the frame that he's getting shot at and do a little spray of the same color blood at the exit wound. Very faint, just a little accent. You'll see in some of my movies, if you pause it on the frame he's getting shot, there's just a little like spray of like maroon around the wound. So that's it for the blood. The final item I want to mention about the weekly tutorials is that I want you to use these effects in your movies. If you make a movie using these effects before the next weekly tutorial, post them as a video response. If I get enough people to do this, and if I think that yours is the best use of these effects, then I will link to your video in the next movie. And remember, you must be a subscriber, and please send me the request in the PMs. I want it to be a private message. I don't want to go through comments and stuff like that. So thank you for watching, and just send me your requests.